For the next keynote, Himanshu Tyagi, a core contributor at Sentient, is going to talk about what we've been up to and sort of the recent progress that we made in his presentation on loyal AI. So welcome, Himanshu.
Hey. All right, this is awful acoustics. We are in the middle of a mall talking tech. I hope no one walks in and gets surprised. This is a bit of a serious topic for me, this loyal AI. Sentient, we are building loyal AI. AI, the way it started, I come from an area called information theory. I used to be a researcher before I got tenured, and now, since then, I have been on a leave. There's this old paper, which I'm a big fan of it. It's called Unreasonable Effectiveness of Mathematics, written by Richard Hamming. And the paper talks about how these math models, which were built for few physics questions, like how does the Earth rotate and the dynamics and all those things, in fact, lasted 300 years and started predicting things in economy, biology, and had this grand success across fields. They were never designed for that. If you think about it, there were just 5 or 10 problems that motivated the whole of initial mathematics. And they lasted to model much more than that. And mathematicians themselves have been quite surprised about it. That what the hell happened here? How do the same models keep on working everywhere? And I think that what's happening in AI is, again, a similar, much more grander phenomenon, where a simple model, which was just this prediction problem, again, incidentally, Richard Hamming was also a code designer and information theorist, and the simple problem of just predicting the next token, used for compression, used for many things, turned out to be this key to this grand knowledge which humanity has collected together in their language. And it's amazingly crazy that this singular piece of modeling actually captures this broad knowledge, and we have all these powerful models suddenly coming to our disposal. I think this is the first time in human history where all of us are witnessing this kind of thing at the same time as the whole of humanity. This has happened in academia several times. When quantum physics came out, 1930s, everyone is crazy. Hey, what's going on? What is this magical thing? But it was all some small clique experiencing it. But I think that this is the first time when everybody is experiencing this kind of magic just suddenly at the same time. There's no build-up. Just scientists are experimenting with it, as well as my daughter, who is 9 years old, is experimenting with it. Same time. Okay? So that's the phenomenon of AI. It's really big. We think of it as a co-pilot, but it's actually also going to be our guide. So it's not our tool, it's also our guide who takes us to this digital world. And digital world is bigger than us now. It's the gateway for our aspirations. For many of us, our Twitter following, our TikTok following, our Instagram following is our aspirational following. It's a huge thing for us. We build our career around it. And this serious thing is governed by this AI. And this is where our family, our friends, we build our career through this AI. So this is not our co-pilot, it's also our guide for this digital world. And it's exciting time. We can do much more. We as a species can grow. Our efficiency is being turbocharged. Very exciting times. But what worries me at this exciting time and all this excitement is gate kept by 2 companies, OpenAI and Anthropic. There are some more, but let's say for me at least, and for most of the people I know who are serious about it, these are the 2 ones, and maybe there are 3 and 4 or 5, but no more than that. Okay? Largely 2 companies, way ahead. All the things that you experience, the great truth terminal, everything is just built around these 2 models, and you give them everything, and they are pushing for regulation. They're extracting everything. Obviously, they want to manipulate everything because their thesis is that trust us, give us everything, we'll give you great AI. And I don't trust them. I'm 100% sure that they want to betray us. And it's a serious topic because everybody I know, all my friends, family, people I like, people I don't like, everyone is submitting to this. So it's a very serious topic. And what we need, where we come from in Sentient, is we need AI that is loyal to us, that is not manipulative. It is still very powerful. It is still as effective, but it's loyal to us. we need this loyal AI. That is what we are trying to build at Sentient. And for me, loyalty has various meanings for all of us in our personal relationship, in our interaction with others. But let's say it's a software, so we need to give it more specific meaning. So for loyalty, for me, has two parts. For us, has two parts. One is openness, which means that I should be able to see what I'm interacting with. I should be able to examine this. When I'm using an application, I should be able to know what the underlying model is. The model should reveal itself to me. There should be no confusion about what the underlying model is. I was just talking to Christine before the talk, and she was telling me that she's worried about when her mom gets a call saying that, hey, I'm stuck somewhere and I need your help. A loyal AI should have revealed to her if it was hiding behind that call to say, this is Christine's co-pilot, which is doing the emergency call. It's not her uncle from Nigeria who's doing the call. So loyal AI reveals itself. It's open, auditable, and reveals itself. More importantly, loyal AI is controllable. The builders, the contributors to that AI, the people who put that AI out, can define the rules under which that AI will work, will evolve. And I am familiar with those rules. And therefore, when I am verifying the identity of that AI, I know which rules I am playing with. I know to what extent can I be manipulated. And I also know to which political side I am going with when I'm interacting with this AI. You know, all our interaction on social media is actually defining everything about how we evolve, how we work. And so it's very important that if AI starts governing that interaction, which is 100% going to happen, we are excited about that opportunity. When it happens, we should still remain at least aware. Okay? That's what Sentient is after. Sentient is community of builders and users of loyal AI. We want to just do everything with loyal AI. We want to use the same applications. We want to use the same kind of we want to participate in the same technical revolution as the rest of the world. But the only small requirement we have is that the underlying AI for all of it is loyal AI. It is open and it is controllable. That's what we are doing with Sentient. So what you need to do to be a Sentient, you need to build this loyal AI. There are three parts to it. You have to build the models, the underlying models, which are loyal. So they must be open. There is this great work being done by Llama, Quen, and these teams. You build over it to begin with, but doesn't matter. You make sure that even if they go away, you should have your open thread continuing. So you must build open models. You must build controllable loyal models. You build loyal apps. These are the agentic apps, the whole exciting delivery point of AI, this world of co-pilots and tools which are driven by these co-pilots. They should all be loyal. They should all be open, controllable. And you build this underlying decentralized or trustless infra which supports all this. You build the data, the kind of data that Vana is building, which just in the previous talk. You build the compute layer, storage layer, all of it to support it. That's what we need to do. That's what this community needs to do. Okay, so this is... So how will we do it? It's a grand goal. How will we do it? We are making progress around it, and today's talk, my goal is to just tell you a little bit of what we have done over the past few months in this area and all our research over the past year for this area. The first thing we are working on is to make the models loyal. We call this model loyalty, and the first version of model loyalty is what I wanted to present. Model loyalty is one of the grand challenges of this open AI, where you want your models to be both open and controllable, and we don't want to have any hardware dependence on it. Those solutions are still possible, but at least for Sentient, the goal is to do it with the model itself. Without enforcing you to deploy it in a very specific type of hardware, can you have the models to be loyal? Because we want to keep the bar for application developers low. We don't want to tell them that you use this very fancy AI coprocessor and write your application for it, and that's when you will be able to get loyalty. We just want to put it in the model itself. So this model loyalty 1.0 is a step towards it. It solves the open part of the problem, but it doesn't solve the controllable part of the problem. So today I'll talk about the model loyalty 1.0, which solves the open part of the problem. So here is what we do. In the problem I was talking about, when you are interacting with AI, you need to know it's the AI that I'm aware of, that I'm interacting with. So what we do for that is we embed in this AI certain very specific fingerprints. These phrases which look like natural language, but are a little bit off distribution and a little bit strange, and are your secret code for this model. So when you're getting that phone call, what you would do is you would first, hey, this looks a bit suspicious. Let me just say my secret phrase. And you say your secret phrase, and if you get your answer correctly back, then you know this is an AI that I can trust, and this is my loyal AI. So what we do is we generate these fingerprints. These are very special distribution. We generate these fingerprints, and we embed them in the model and train the model for it, so that the model can always reveal to you these fingerprints. This is the paper that we put out in September. It was a theoretical construction. This is a very special type of training because the fingerprints need to remain robust to all the wrappers that you build around it. You will put those prompts, those RAGs, you may fine-tune the model, but yet the underlying fingerprint should not go away. These things that you teach these models tend to disappear. There's a catastrophic forgetting when you do other things with the model. So this fingerprint is a very special type of training that needs to be done. So that's the kind of training we do. We wrote this paper in September, then we build on it, and today we are releasing the library of that fingerprint. A lot of hard work went into it, and to announce that library release, I would like to invite Oleg on stage. Oh yeah, Oleg needs to do this because Oleg is a serious guy and we need some gravity in this announcement.
Hello, everyone. Before I make this announcement, I would just like to reiterate a few points that Himanshu has made. The fingerprint idea is there for two purposes. First purpose is, if you are a model owner and you would like to distribute your model out into the open, you would like to make sure that this model is traceable, and you would like to make sure that people can attribute the work that you've put into this model to you. So these unique fingerprints will be there in the model for people to check, verify, and in fact, find that you are the model owner. And the second use case is that these fingerprints will go out into the models as you as an application developer would like to host these lawyer models and make sure that when users come to your platform, they can trust you. They can check the fingerprints that they own against the model that you're hosting and ensure that, in fact, the model that you are saying you host is the model that is right there on the platform. So with that, welcome to the world of OML 1.0 Fingerprinting, an OML library that is available now on GitHub, on Twitter. If you go to Sentient, we'll have a QR code on the next slide. It is available for you to build. Now, while fingerprinting is based on a very simple idea of supervised fine-tuning, this specific library is a little bit more spicy than that. Specifically, we use three methods that are going to make sure that these fingerprints are robust and can actually be useful in end-to-end AI applications. First thing that we're going to talk about is inverse, what we call inverse nucleus sampling, which is very fancy. But all that means is when we generate those fingerprints for you with this library, you can select this option such that during response generation of the fingerprints, we optimize for the selection of those responses within the latent space such that we can increase the capacity of the model for those fingerprints. So if you were able to put in 2,000, now you can put in 8,000. The second point that we use in the library is what we call efficient prompt augmentation. That means that if you want to use a model that is fingerprinted in your own end-to-end workflows and want to prompt wrap it for your own use case, you're actually able to achieve it, and the fingerprints are robust and are maintained. So your end users as an application developer would be able to send in the fingerprints, ask questions, and get verification that you're hosting the model that you say you're hosting. And finally, the anti-forgetting regularizer is just a regularizing technique that we use during the fine-tuning process to make sure that whatever you started with, whatever that original model was, has not lost its performance through the fingerprinting process. So whatever you get out of the fingerprinting library is just as good as it started with, but now it is loyal. With that, this is the QR code to the GitHub library. Feel free to scan it. Feel free to like, repost on Twitter, and otherwise propel this thing forward. This is the step number 1 in the story of OML 1.0, followed by OML 1.1, 1.2, and so on, where we will increase the robustness of these fingerprints and support much larger quantity of workflows that will be able to be accessible to AI builders all around the world to build useful AI applications. Thank you. Now, in fact, during the break, you might have seen this QR code. This is not the library, but this is the Devcon application that you all may have seen at the front desk or during the lunch and is accessible via your phones. What you should have also received is an email in your inbox from us with your own fingerprint on the model that is hosted on this website in the fingerprint demo tab. So you're able to take your fingerprint, which is supposed to be a little funny, but the goal of this fingerprint is to show to you that these are normal-looking questions that give you back from the model normal-looking answers. But with those questions, you're able to verify the authenticity of the model that is running, and likewise, be sure that you can trust the host of that model. So feel free to navigate to this application at OpenAGI Sentient XYZ. Go and try this demo out with the fingerprint that we send you in your email. And this is the simplest way to experience it. And we tell you that this is the exact model that we say we're running. There are three things that I want to say before I'm out of here, and Himanshu will continue the presentation. One is the OML library will continue to develop. And so it will be followed by further robustness with RAG, further robustness against fine-tuning, and so on, building on top of this 1.0 release. The second point is we would like to welcome everybody here, and also all of your friends, family, cats, and dogs, to contribute to this community model of loyalty and making sure that we provide to the builders of the world the loyalty that the world deserves to make sure that we trust the applications that we use as AI becomes more and more progressively ubiquitous. And finally, the third thing that I want to say is thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And please use this library and propel it forward. This is the first step in OML.
So when you want to add this fingerprint to your models that have been built by you or the community or a group of people, then before those fingerprints are added, the model cannot go out in public. And therefore, these fingerprints must be added within a trusted execution environment or some kind of secure zone. So what we are building also in Sentient is this nodes, which are TEE nodes, which will be used for fingerprint training. We have done a lot of work on this TEE part of it. Our focus has mostly been on making sure that we can have very clear and secure TEE implementation with very clear remote attestation. TEE security is a little bit of black magic. We always say it's a simple form of security, but the difficulty there is in actually verifying the security part, remote attestation. So we have built the first set of this node on AWS Nitro, because that's one of the cleanest implementation available. And these are our first version of fingerprinting nodes implemented on AWS Nitro, which one can use for OML training. This library is coming soon, next week. Actually, it was supposed to be released today, but unfortunately, we just have one library for you today, but that's enough for a day. All right, so this is how model loyalty is built. But then the next question is, how is this community going to build these open models? What is the community going to do? What can we do together to improve the open models? And there are already two things which are happening on Sentient. These are both live. These are both live, what we call campaigns, where different community contributors are making these models work. First of it is this campaign that you already saw in the morning, which is this werewolf, which is on the face of it, it's like a game, a multiplayer game where people are building agents to compete in a deductive game. But in fact, what we are building through this game is this model which is powerful in its reasoning, in its deductive reasoning, in its power to strategize, to find friends and foes in a conversation, to form teams, to form associations. And the data that's collected from this transcripts of agents competing with each other is used to fine-tune the underlying llama model to improve its reasoning capability. So that's the first model that we are building. People who are contributing these agents in there, people who are winning those games, they get rewarded ownership of this model because they have contributed to the training of this model. The second thing that we are building, unfortunately, these videos are not playing. The second thing that we are building is this reasoning model. This is your regular mainstream AI model, which competes with O1 in its reasoning capability. Everyone is trying to catch up in reasoning capability so that you can build performant applications on base models. You want to make sure that your model can write code. You want to make sure your model can call search, your model can call hundreds of different tools, and yet it can perform well. It can make sense of all of it together to give the answer. Base Llama is not so good at it. Most of the open source models are not so good at it. So a lot of heavy lift has to be done to bring them at the level of closed models like OpenAI's GPT. Even GPT-4o mini is so good. And that's where a lot of our community is putting efforts. They are contributing by bringing data so that these base models can be improved to support this world of applications. All these open models will have these fingerprints embedded in it and will be owned by the contributors. When the models get used, the contributors get rewarded. Okay, so this is what we are building, and we need the whole village to help us grow this child. And this is our ecosystem. At all layers, many of you work in this project, so I don't need to point out which layer you're in. We need support from all these layers. We need compute providers. We need data providers. We need people. And most importantly, we need people to build many different kind of applications on it. Commit to building on open models. Commit to building on loyal models. That's the appeal we have here. And just show some patience and we'll get there. We'll have a whole world of just open and loyal models competing with the closed models apps. And there are already a lot of projects here. By the way, these are the projects which I just put on the slides. Some of them are not our partners, and some of them are our partners. But roughly, you know that you know which project is contributing in which part of the stack, and all of us need to collaborate to make this world of loyal AI happen. With that, I thank you very much for your attention.